Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is going to be a redo of What If Takemichi was Hwajin Na. Now, Hwajin Na is from the manhwa slash webtoon called Education or Get Schooled, whatever you want to call it. But Get Schooled sounds cool, so I'm going to call it Get Schooled. But the official title, I'm pretty sure, is True Education. So yeah. Now, we're going to start out this What If off basically when Takemichi's an adult. When Takemichi's an adult, the TRPA would still be formed, and Takemichi would still end up being part of it. But during his younger years, after he graduated high school, he went straight to the military. He was in the military for South Korea, and even was put up against other nations. Takemichi's father was also in the military, and he was also, Takemichi basically raised to be in the military, or basically raised to be strong like a military soldier. But Takemichi went into the Marines just to get stronger. And as an adult, he was basically very well known, because his unit trained very hard, and they were very good. On the battlefield, they're basically undefeated. Takemichi, he has fought against almost other nations, and still won. And Takemichi would mainly be in the Korean military because he was born in Korea. Eventually, he was born in Korea, but had moved to Japan as a teenager. Then when he was in high school, moved back to Korea, then became a Korean soldier. But yeah, just to say that. Alright, so Takemichi in his younger years would be in the Korean military. In his younger years, like once he graduated high school, he was in the Korean military. So yeah, now TRPA is formed. He retired from the military, and he takes on the TRPA in Japan as he's heard about war students because of the gangs that are going on, mainly Tomon. As he moved in to his old apartment in Japan, he would proceed to take down Tomon one by one. One person he couldn't take down was Manjiro Sano, and Tada Kisaki, because he didn't know how to find them. As personally, he took on Tomon, but for his job, he took on Tomon members that were in school trying to be hot, like they were trying to be cool and everything. And Tomon knows Takemichi as he's taking down some of their top members. One main person he's taking down being Hanma, because Hanma came back to their hideout with almost every bone in his body broken except for one leg, his jaw, and mostly parts of his skull. His nose is very badly broken. But he came back saying that bastard Hanagaki did this. He's different. Takemichi's well versed in over 5 martial arts, and knives, staffs, guns, nunchucks, and weapon. He probably knows how to use it like a master. Takemichi's whole personality, his will, his love, his joy, combat. As teenager, his focus was mainly just being able to go back to Korea. But he did realize that he did prefer Japan since it was more fun to him. So yeah, now Takemichi one day will be heading home from work as he had heard about Hina's death, as he did date Hina. I almost said hate. But he did date Hina. He knew now, so Naruto thought Takemichi was really cool. And Takemichi would read that Hina had died, and he was pretty upset. But this time, the person that did it personally to hurt Takemichi. Saki ordered Hanma to drive a truck into Hina and Natsu's car. Takemichi had recognized the car as Hanma's as he followed it before, and somehow the assailant got away unscathed. Or, well, unscathed, but the assailant got away, they weren't found. But everyone in the train station all heard just one certain noise, a phone being crushed like it was cardboard. She had yelled saying, "Damn you, Hanma." He threw his phone down and it shattered in even bigger pieces. Now suddenly from behind, Hanma had yelled, saying, "Well, if you hate me so much, kill me. Or, matter of fact, I'll kill you, so you don't have to deal with me anymore." Then he kicks Takemichi in the back, sending him flying onto the tracks. Takemichi was about to get back up until the train was too close, and in this reality, Takemichi, all everyone near him heard was a splat. But Takemichi didn't change that. I have to pause real quick, sorry. I have to pause one time. Alright, sorry about that. So Takemichi basically would be kicked on the tracks, and Takemichi, by the way, or maybe the Hwajin Na, was in his 30s, which would make Takemichi older. So in this one, Takemichi's gonna be aged up. So to match Hwajin Na's age, Takemichi's gonna be around 3 years older, so around the age of 17. So yeah. Now he appears in his body as he was in the middle of a field, well, not a field, but just in the middle, I guess, of a school field, and he stands up, realizing he has a bruise on his cheek, and there's dozens of bodies thrown around. He immediately looked at his knuckles, realizing they're covered in blood and bruises. He says, "Oh, this day." And this is around a wheel. Let's just go different with this. around a year before the whole Kiyomasa incident. As in the Kiyomasa incident, he wasn't friends with Akun Yamagishi, Yamamoto Shizuki, or anyone. He wasn't friends with any of them. But he had just saw him being beaten up and beat the hell out of Kiyomasa and his group for them. And this one, Takemichi basically was attacked by Tomon members. Well, not Takemichi, let's say Mobius. He was attacked by Mobius, and they attacked him. It was mainly just for reasons that he had beaten up one of the main people in the group, and that was for trying to rob Takemichi. So Takemichi, in response to that, broke the guy's jaw and every limb on every limb. His parents didn't press charges, knowing Takemichi was in the right to do it, so they showed at their son and then let Takemichi get away with it. Well, the gang showed again with Takemichi, and Takemichi only left with just a simple bruise on his cheek and a few bruised knuckles from hitting him in the face. As he walked away, he looked around, seeing Yamagishi kind of fanboying out over him. He could tell Yamagishi wasn't just nervous or scared, because he was smiling. He walked over to Yamagishi, recognizing him, saying, what was your name again? Yamagishi, right? Yamagishi nodded briefly, saying, wait, the infamous Takemichi Onigaki knows me? Yamagishi nodded, saying, yeah. Why wouldn't I? That's when Yamagishi says, well, because you're in high school and I'm a middle schooler. Takemichi says, oh yeah, fair enough. Well, I'm kind of bored, so you're gonna hang out with me today. He walks off as he drags Yamagishi away, and they hang out for the whole day. Takemichi, knowing that Tomon is one of the people that would supposedly killed him, is what he thinks he's dead, says Yamagishi give him all the info on Tomon that he can. Yamagishi will give him info on Tomon, but then asks about if he wants info on other gangs. Jonathan saying, just give me their leaders. He goes over Manjiro Sano, Osanai, Taiju Shiba. Then that's really it. Those are the three main gangs. Because there's mission like other random miscellaneous gangs. So Manjiro Sano. Is he feared or something? That's when he says, well, people usually call Mikey a little bit childish. Sorry about that. People usually call him a little bit childish, but so far he's been known as a very cool person, just on his bad side. I think he chuckled, saying, well, I'm kind of sick of Tomon, so do you know where I can find them? And that's when Yamagishi says, well, if you're planning on fighting them, be careful, they're all really elite fighters. He says, and I'm the elite of the elite. Try me. Yamagishi tells them where he saw them hang out once, and he would walk there and wait. He did that for a week, straight until their next meeting. When they arrived, they saw Takemichi sitting on the stairs smoking a cigarette. As Takemichi has always had the habit since he was 16. And Takemichi mainly did it as a way to deal with stress. As an adult, he switched from cigarettes to something not as bad, but still probably illegal, which was, it starts with a W. So yeah. So, or an M if you would say so. But yeah. So they approached Takemichi saying, hey, some random member says, yeah, bug off. You know, we don't allow anyone else here. Takemichi didn't move a bit, just kept smoking a cigarette until the guy smacked it out of his hand. Takemichi says, now you messed up. He says, oh, what do you do to me? Everyone watched Takemichi punch the guy so hard the ground had cratered a bit. As the guy's face was in the ground, and almost every hole on his face was bleeding. His eyes, even one of his eyes had blood coming out, while his nose, his mouth, and even one ear and one eye were bleeding. Takemichi says, anyone else have a problem with me being here? Maki can acknowledge he didn't have that strength. Takemichi was above him. He even whispered to Draken, saying, we might need to team up. Draken ran at Takemichi first as he went for a kick, then realized Takemichi wasn't there anymore. Takemichi was above Draken, grabbed him by the ponytail, and swung him around and slammed his head straight first, basically scalp first into the ground. Now Mikey went for his roundhouse, but Takemichi just dodged and then just jabbed him right in the nose, breaking it and knocking him out immediately. And says, was it supposed to be this easy? And everyone else was amazed. He took down Draken and Mikey with very simple moves. Well, not simple if he was able to jump almost 10 feet in the air. But yeah, he was good. Once he looked at the rest of Tomon, saying, alright, come at me, I don't have time for this. They ran at him and proceeded to kick the crap out of every single one of them. But eventually, Takemichi was just looking at everyone with his foot on Shifuyu's face, saying, yeah, not even the leader was impressive. Look at Bachi saying, now you were fun. And I guess this guy too. And then he kicked Shifuyu in the face. So he looked at Angry getting up as Angry ran at him while crying. But suddenly Angry went into the ogre form trying to kill Takemichi, like going for the kill. But when he got close enough, Angry's jaw was broken pretty badly. Angry hit the ground with blood spilling out of his mouth, and Takemichi says, Nah, you were fun too. Smiley saying, you be like your brother. He's fun. And Smiley then says, you made him cry. How do you do that? It's not hard. It's not easy. And he says, easy, get the hell out of you. That's how he cries. They look at Hakai saying, you. Your brother's tied you, right? And this is when Hakai would just stumble up saying, so what of it? Then he says, introduce me to Taiju. I need a few choice words of him. I think he didn't realize he went to the same school as Taiju. It's just he didn't know what Taiju looked like. He's heard of him. But yeah, Hakai bringing Takemichi to his school. It's like, is this some sick game? I go here. But then Taiju says, Hakai, what are you doing here? And who's that? Takemichi says, well, your big ass is Taiju, huh? Taiju went for a punch, saying, is that a fat insult? But when he realized the big punch landed, Takemichi and Hakai were nowhere near. But Hakai was screaming in the air, saying, put me down! Takemichi says, gladly, and throws Hakai straight into Taiju. And when he landed, Koko and Inupi were amazed. The height Takemichi the height he got from his jumps were amazing. Taiju got back up, saying, what the hell was that? Takemichi says, give me your best shot. If the punch lands, just at least land one punch on me, and I'll determine you a good fighter. Turned around as Taiju went for multiple punches, but not a single one connected. And by the time one connected, Takemichi said, "This really what we call a punch? This is a punch." He punched Taiju in the gut, and Taiju thought Takemichi's fist impaled him. But he just fell to the ground, coughing up and throwing up a little bit of blood. So Inupi and Koko saying, "No, you two, I know you both. Come at me." Koko went for a kick to only have his leg pretty badly broken. Then Inupi just had his nose broken. Coming to the ground, he then says, "I can't believe weaklings like you go to my school." He walked away saying, "All right, Hakai, get up." Kai stood up saying, "My back hurts." Michi just chopped him in the back saying, "Better." Kai says, "Why did that work?" He walk off as he brings Hakai back to the Toma meetings place. As they're all like, "Hakai, did he do anything to you?" And Takemichi says, "I'm now the 11th generation Black Dragon leader." They throw saying, you beat up Taiju." He started saying it was pretty easy. And then Taiju kind of ran at Takemichi saying, "You bastard, that was a cheap shot." But then Takemichi just flicks Taiju right in the eyes and kicks him in the jaw, knocking him out again. And says, "Why are you able to walk if I had hit you full force?" Wait, no, I didn't. That probably would have killed you from internal bleeding. Alright, get up again. If you get up again, I'm gonna kill you. He sat on Taiju saying, "Alright, well now as the 11th generation Black Dragon leader, This one got a text and says, "Never mind. I didn't have a girlfriend tonight. See you later." He walks off as he leaves the whole area through some trees, and he's met with the whole horde of black dragons. Takemichi says, "Oh, that's me troublesome." Pulls out Switchblade, saying, "Alright, I'm giving you guys 10 minutes." After 10 minutes, Takemichi's walking away with not even a dash of blood on a Switchblade, but his body's covered in blood. He then says, "Not any of you got stabbed or cut, and I used one hand. How disgraceful is that?" Puts the Switchblade away, and then goes to Hina's house. Then he gets there, Hina will question why his clothes are covered in blood, and he then says, "Just make sure your dad is at home. I don't need him to see me like this." He gets naked, and then he takes a shower. Then Hina's dad arrives. You can see that everything in the washer with the water is red. Or seeing Takemichi's hair, and the little red water dripping off of him. Asks Takemichi what happened, looking at his knuckles, and then he sees the Switchblade on the counter. He checks Takemichi's body for even one slice, and he says, "Takemichi, who stabbed you? Who cut you? What happened?" Takemichi says, "Some gang picked a fight with me, so I beat them all up." His father and froze, saying, "You beat up a few members of the gang?" He says, "No, knowing him, the whole gang could fight with him, and he beat the whole gang." His father says, "Hina, marry him. We need him. We need him on the force later, and then having you as an asset would probably make him stay even longer." Takemichi says, "Nah. I'm probably going back to Korea." Father says, "What? Why? We need you here." Takemichi says, "No, Naoto will be a fine cop." Now Naoto just walk out saying, "I'm not being a cop." And to take up Takemichi's now missing age, Naoto's 1 year older, and he's part of the Mizo middle crew. Just today got beat up by Kiyomasa. He wasn't there. He was at his dojo. But yeah, Naoto's a user of boxing, kickboxing. And you can tell Naoto, for being 14, is pretty well toned. His body is very similar to Mikey's. Him and Mikey are like the same height, same build, everything. Just Mikey has long hair and looks different. Takemichi looks like that. Now I was saying, all right, you give me your best kick. Says, give me your best kick. I need to make sure you've been working out. Naoto will kick Takemichi in the chest. Takemichi says, weak. And punches Naoto straight into his room, saying lunge your push-ups now. Naoto got in a push-up form, immediately doing push-ups. Takemichi kicked out one of his arms, saying, one-armed. As we're doing one-arm push-ups, Takemichi steps on his fingers, saying, on your fingers. Now Naoto began doing them on his fingertips, barely able to do them. But after around 2 hours, Takemichi hanging out with Hina and her father and Hina's mother. Naoto came out of his room with fingertips looking like they were broken. They weren't. It was just kind of like anime effect showing his fingertips hurt. Takemichi says, are you done? Naoto says, I got to 98. Takemichi says, 2 more. Naoto says, my fingertips. Takemichi says, I'll break them. Naoto got back in formation, did 2 more. He says, can I have dinner now? Takemichi give him his food, saying, I see I've saved it for you. It's still warm. Naoto ate his food. And yes, Takemichi's training is cruel, but it works. Now, fast forward 1 year. Takemichi had still gone through with Naoto's training, and everything he does up to like the future, like the meetings, he knows what he has to do. And he did meet the Mizumido crew, especially because of Yamagishi. Takemichi is still known as the 11th generation Black Dragon leader, or the illegitimate one. Taiju is the acting leader. But he does say that he's the official leader, it's just he doesn't participate in anything. So, yeah. These are the few people who approach him, who like very few who do know him as a leader, and he kicks crap out of them if they're trying to pick a fight. But yeah, Takemichi, he's a lot like Hwajin, just minus the facial hair. Actually, he's B16 right now, but now he turned 17 after that 1 year. So, yeah. Now, he doesn't really talk to anyone in Tomo aside to Kai, like, because he occasionally runs into him while trying to talk to Taiju. Taiju stopped his abuse very fast, like, it wasn't even funny. Like, the moment you find out Taiju's abusing Yuzuha and Hakai, Taiju got the worst beating of his life, to the point where Taiju spent months in the hospital. Takemichi did face a little bit of juvenile detention time, but once they found out the full thing because of Yuzuha, he was able to get out. So, and even lives next door to Taiju and Yuzuha and Hakai. So he meets Hakai daily, and Hakai is still kind of scared of him, but yeah. Now, Angry and Smiley, their wounds had healed, and Hakai's like, oh yeah, he trains like every single day. His training's brutal. But yeah, one day, like the day they fight Kimasa, like before the fight, actually, Mikey would head to Takemichi's house with his grandpa. His mother, Mikey's grandpa's like, all right, Mikey asked me to inspect the martial arts to use, because he reports that you use many. He challenges Takemichi to like a small duel, and Takemichi begins fighting him. Now, Mikey's grandfather, in the middle of a fight, forfeits, saying, there's too many martial arts for me to keep up with. I only know 3 of the martial arts that I can use physically. The rest of them, you know more than 7. Takemichi was done fighting, saying, yeah, more than 7. I should think I know around 10. Then you think, saying, as an adult, 10 is like, it's like a baby number to me. My grandfather then falls down, saying, oh, get me to the hospital, my body's tired. Gosh, quick. Alright, so Mikey brings her to the hospital. They stuck Takemichi, saying, so you know 10 martial arts. That's impressive. Takemichi would say, no, not really. It's pretty easy. All I have to do is be very, very dedicated. Takemichi will display at least one skill from each martial art that he knows, and Mikey's amazed. But the move he has played mainly was from karate or taekwondo. I don't know which martial art Mikey uses, but you do the kick that Mikey uses, and Mikey's amazed. Takemichi perfected it. You can tell it's perfect form, and doesn't see even single opening in it, unlike Mikey's. But yeah, so Mikey actually offers Takemichi to join Tomon, and Takemichi just says no. Takemichi has a big grudge against Tomon for killing his ex-girlfriend that he still liked. They still liked each other, it's just Takemichi moved away, and the long distance was hard to do. He did move back, they're really good friends, though. Now, we're gonna go to Takemichi when the whole Kimasa incident happens. My grandfather spent like 10 minutes in the hospital, that's really it, but yeah. The whole Kimasa incident. He would walk up in Naoto, saying Akun and his friends being beaten up by Kimasa. We're not saying Kimasa's group was not injured. Akun learned the basics of boxing, just only the basics. His strength wasn't all the way built up yet. But Kimasa was on the ground, kind of beaten up. Akun was on the ground, just pretty tired. But Kimasa was able to get up faster, and the rest of them had finished beating up Mizumido, so they began beating Akun with sticks, wooden swords, bats. Eventually, one of the guys would go for a blow that would definitely kill Akun. The one that realized the bat wasn't there anymore. That's the guy that swung it wasn't even moving anymore. But then they saw blood pouring from his head. Takemichi was able to grab it instantly fast and hit him back the head with it, so the back broke. The guy falls to the ground bleeding insanely and looks at Kimasa saying, I heard Kimasa was strong, but now I see you're a coward. Kimasa recognized Takemichi immediately, as Kimasa had to gain a new scar on his face from Takemichi. Takemichi kicked him, or had missed the kick, but it made a large cut in Kimasa's face. Kimasa in fear fell over unconscious. The rest of Kimasa's group was beaten up by Naoto. Naoto had a lot of blood on his foot, saying, "Alright, Akun, get up, you're alive, I know it." Akun got up shakily, saying, "My body hurts." Takemichi picked him up, saying, I'll bring you to a hospital. They visit the hospital for the second time today, and what are you doing here again? And they think Takemichi beat up Akun until he says, "No, he saved me." But yeah, now eventually, Akun and them talk for a bit, and we about to leave. Him and Naoto shake hands. Then they shake hands, Takemichi appears in the future. When he appears in the future, Takemichi trained Naoto a lot harder in this one, because he wanted Naoto to be stronger. Now this one, Hina still died, but this time, Naoto did get pretty injured by trying to save Hina as he tried to jump out of the car. But each time he jumped out of the car, his leg actually got, he jumped out of the car. The car kind of crushed his leg pretty badly. He didn't still be able to fight, but his leg is amputated. Hina died because basically, Hama got out of the car and shot Hina. But then tried to shoot Naoto, but Naoto, using his remaining leg, kicked Hama in the ribs, breaking every single one of them. But Hama was able to kind of wobble away, as Naoto couldn't even run. Yeah, so Takemichi would wake up in the hospital, and the nurse says, "What? He's awake! He's awake!" Mr. was Takemichi's chest "Oh, how many fingers am I holding up? What am I doing here?" Takemichi slaps him all away, saying, "Yeah, go away, go away." He shakes his head, saying, Any of you got a razor? One of the residents of Takemichi razor, he shaves his face. He looks more like Hwajin right here. He would serve a cigarette and puts it in, starts smoking, and Naoto would kind of just walk in on crutches, pulling the cigarette away, saying, "You shouldn't smoke right after you just woke up." Takemichi kind of froze, saying, "Why are you alive?" Naoto would say, "Rude, but good question." As he was just aware of what happened. Because Takemichi still gave him the whole "you're gonna die in this many years" thing just later. But yeah, so eventually Takemichi was able to be discharged from the hospital, and he would go to his house with Naoto, realizing how dusty it is. But Takemichi would just step outside, inhale as much as he can, and go inside and blow as much as he can. Half the apartment's dust was immediately gone. He did it again after around 5 minutes, and every single speck of dust was gone. Now Naoto says, "Well, you are a monster, aren't you?" Takemichi says, "Just let me find a pair of scissors first." He grab his hair, cut it, saying, then he says, "Yes, I am a monster." So what? Now Takemichi began talking for a bit about what they should do. After around 10 minutes, Takemichi discussed everything he found out about the past and how he can change it. He's Google Tomon in the current time, and Manjo Sano is more of a brutal person. He learned more martial arts. He learned around 4. When she was able to see some fight scenes or some fights that he's been in, and it shows one with the black dragons. Mikey's able to just do a Muay Thai, just knee taiju right in the neck, breaking it immediately, and actually killed him. Now, Taiju's actually Hakai's pretty pissed off at this and tried to fight Mikey. Mikey had used a bit of judo and slammed Hakai in the ground. Then using jujutsu, broke Hakai's foot pretty badly, and made it so he never walks normally again. So, yeah, Mikey's able to pull off a few martial arts. But now, Takemichi was able to find where Mikey is, and he'd spent the day looking for Mikey after finding out where he lived, and he walked inside. When he walks inside, Mikey questioned who he is, realizing that's Takemichi. And he realized that everyone around them, everyone outside is knocked out, or dead. Well, not dead, but they look dead. He sees him Naoto next to Takemichi, smoking a cigarette as well. I'm not encouraged, by the way. Takemichi kind of stopped after Naoto was bad, and then Naoto was doing it. Now, Naoto basically beat everyone with his crutches or his one leg, using crutches as a balance. But he even says, So you're Manjo Sano in the future, huh?" And the thing, this is Takemichi saying it. And Mikey immediately goes for a signature roundhouse. The moment his leg comes off the ground, He's immediately put in a chokehold, and he tries to break out of it using the technique he knows how to break out of, like the technique that you break out of chokehold with. It's not working. Takemichi's muscle was too much for him to claw through, or stab out, or get out of in general. Takemichi suddenly dug his fingernails into Mikey's body, and then one finger even went through Mikey's skin. He pulled up, making a large gash in Mikey's body, making Mikey fall to the ground in pain and screaming. Saki had rushed in as he saw them knocked out guards. As he went inside, he saw Mikey screaming on the ground, crying and bleeding. Takemichi raised his foot in the air, slamming it down straight on Mikey's head, almost killing him immediately. As he then says, "So you bastards hired that idiot Hamlet to kill my girlfriend, huh?" So Saki ran in, shooting at Takemichi, but he was able to dodge most bullets. One bullet grazed him, but he picked up a knife and threw it into Saki's hand. But suddenly, Hamlet would tackle Takemichi, still having a few broken ribs, which Takemichi took advantage of and hit him in the ribs as hard as he can, and almost actually killed Hamlet, almost. But Takemichi was able to run and kick the gun out of Saki's hands, and then kick Saki in the neck, almost killing him. But suddenly the cops arrive, pointing their gun to Takemichi, realizing who he is, and they let him go, because this is Tomon. Mikey, Hanma, and Saki are arrested, and I'm going to leave it here. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment from their part. Bye.